everyone! This is my review of the Nightmare Time finale from Team StarKid, consisting of the stories Jane Zakar and The Witch in the Web, both focused pretty heavily on Black Friday characters, well, pretty much exclusively on Black Friday characters. And that was something I was hoping for after last week because episodes 1 and 2 were very focused on Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals characters and not so much Black Friday characters. And I wanted to learn more about some of those characters before the series was over, and we got to for sure. Before we get into this episode, I just want to say I'm going to try my best not to spoil this time. It's going to be very hard, and if you've seen the episode, you know why it's going to be very hard. One story in particular is just one giant spoiler, pretty much, so I don't know how I'm going to talk about that without giving anything away, but I will do my best. Starting off, we have Jane Zakar about Tom Houston and his late wife Jane, who is also Emma Perkins' sister. So we got to learn a lot about her in Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals on Black Friday, but this time we actually got to meet her, and she was played by Jamie Lynn Beatty, who did just a phenomenal job. I really liked Jane. This is such a cool character to me, like, fascinating. She wasn't the way I thought she was going to be, but I really like seeing her this way. I want to see more of her, and I know she's been dead in all the versions of Hatchetfield we've seen so far, but maybe there'll be one where she's still alive, or maybe we'll get to see her in a flashback in the future. I just need more Jane. I need Jane interacting with Emma, because unfortunately that's something we didn't get this episode. I mean, here I am complaining a Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals was too heavy in the first 2 episodes, and now I'm like, where was Emma? But yeah, this was about Tom and Jane, so we got to see their dynamic, which is pretty neat. Dylan sang a really cool song about the car, which the song could totally fit in a car commercial, and even like the music video looked almost like a car commercial. Like I said, the production value on these Nightmare Time episodes has been pretty good. Like, well, I've been really impressed, and I really like this music video as well. My only complaint about Jane Zakar's episode, or story, I should say, story is part of the episode. But yeah, Jane Zakar's story, the pacing I find to be kind of off. I found it to be really slow for the first half hour, and then the last 20 minutes, like, lots of action, really good. I think the last 20 minutes were paced well. It's just the first half hour could have been cut down a bit more, and maybe even give a little more to the second part of the story. When it gets to say, like, not official second part, but, you know, whatever. So there was that. But other than that, I think this was one of the stories I liked better of the Nightmare Time stories. And I think that might be an unpopular opinion because this is another one of the more goofy ones, but I really liked it because we got to meet Jane, and I want to see more of Jane, so I think that was really cool. And I have to say, pretty much all of StarKid was in all of Hatchetfield StarKid was in this episode, except for Rob Mannion, I think. I don't think he was in this one. I'm sorry if he was and I missed him. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so bad if he was. But yeah, so we got to see everybody, and we really got to see everybody's reactions, which was neat because for most of the time it had everyone on this showing their Zoom screen, even if they weren't in the scene or the episode or like the story. And Jane Zakar in particular, we really got to see how they were reacting to what was going on in the story, and that may have been even more entertaining than the actual story in some cases. And if you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, Jane Zakar, really good story. Witch in the Web was even better, I think. Witch in the Web was possibly my favorite story. I think Watcher World may edge it a little bit for the spot as my favorite Nightmare Time story, but Witch in the Web is up there. But this is the one, as I said, it's one big spoiler, but I can say it's about Hannah Foster, played by Kendall, who was not in the first 2 episodes of Nightmare Time, and I was hoping to see her, and she was here, and she also played Tim in the other stories, so we got lots of Kendall this episode, and she got to sing and sung a very nice song, and it was just all about her and her connection to the black and white, and kind of how it works with her mind and how she talks to these creatures in the black and white. And we did get to meet Webby, who was mentioned in Black Friday. I won't say anything about Webby, but a pretty interesting character who I want to see more of, and I'm sure we're going to. And we also got to meet more little doll creatures. I won't say anything about that. I think we've met them all now as of this episode. We don't know everything about all of them, but I'm pretty sure we've met all the ones we're going to meet. I don't know, maybe there'll be more. I don't think so. But we also got to meet some other characters that weren't supernatural-based characters. We got Pamela, who was Hannah and Lex's mom, played by Jamie Lynn Beatty. And while I liked Jane as a character more than Pamela, I would say, I love Jamie's performance as Pamela possibly more than her performance as Jane. She was just so good in this role. I'm sure you can picture what Pamela is like if you've seen Black Friday. And yeah, she made me laugh a lot. We also got to see a new character played by Kurt Mega, and he was really good. We hadn't seen much of him before. He was only really in like the first episode, and then he played he had a role in the first story, the 8-Man story, and then he did a little bit in the second one, Watch Your World, that episode. And he wasn't in last week at all, so I'm glad we got to see more of him before the series ended. And my favorite character of the new characters introduced in this episode was Kim. And her character, I'm not going to say anything about, but she might be my favorite of all of Hatchetfield now. I need a story just focused on this character and her past. She's so cool and like quirky, and I want to hear about why she's kind of quirky, like certain quirks about her. And oh my goodness, she's just awesome. And if you've seen the episode, you know what I mean. Yeah, this was just like such a great episode. I can't say why, but like, I mean, why is you get to understand more about the lore and stuff, but I just love the way the characters interacted this episode. Lots of good lines and lots of good, just a good story. It was just a good story. So yeah, that is it for Nightmare Time so far. Hopefully there'll be another season. I have to say, after Black Friday, I was kind of feeling a little bit weary and burned out on Hatchetfield. Not that Black Friday was bad, I liked it, but I'm just like, okay, how many more Hatchetfield stories are we gonna do? Like, and this made me really, really enthusiastic, hyped, total on board for more Hatchetfield. Bring it on! I love Nightmare Time. I'm excited for Working Boys, because that's another new format for Hatchetfield. And I'm excited for Nerdy Prudes Must Die when they can do musicals again. I'm just ready for more Hatchetfield. Bring it on! So, but for now, let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode. Feel free to share spoilers in the comments. I don't mind if you do that. I would love to talk about this episode. I just really loved it so much. This was my favorite of the 3 episodes as a whole, although I think Watch Your World might be my favorite story. This episode was my favorite as an episode. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so good. Let's talk in the comments, and I will see you soon. Bye.